Ding dong. See, it's there. Ding dong.
Good morning, LinkedIn. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, the world. Coming up on the Gritty Business Show today, we have the incredible and one and only Sam Marshall, aka the Avon Lady, and also Mr. Paul Fegan from Freetimers. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Very well, and you?
I'm feeling Cobra Club branded. I can't do this reversing. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Happy days.
Let's see it. Are you well?
Yes, all good, all good. And it's what a great show we've got lined up today.
We've got some exciting guests today. I'll give you a bit of a sneak preview.
You what?
I'll give you a bit of a sneak preview.
Go on then.
Ding dong. Oh, it's
Thanks, Ed.
It's itchy.
I wonder who we got.
It's itchy.
Anyway, Ed.
Ding dong.
So another great show today. So if you're out there watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform you're on, say hi in the comments, give us a shout out, or we'll give you a shout out if you post any questions in there, or just come and say hi. So let's crack on with the show, Ed. So we've got a few new Cobra Club members this week, which is really good.
Really exciting.
So should we welcome the new members in?
Let's do that thing.
All right, here we go. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Lorraine Chisholm to Cobra Saltire from Ripple Effect Marketing.
I'll buy the new up in Scotland. I'd like to welcome joined Cobra Strike over in Hertfordshire.
Yeah, that's Lee Romy, that is. Then we have Joanna Minkini, who's joined Cobra Hive.
Welcome, Joanna. Welcome, Vicky Bodice. Who's joined Cobra Express up in Scotland.
Fantastic.
Welcome, Vicky.
And last but not least, Mr. Andrew Burgess. Or Burgess. So welcome to the club, Andrew. Yeah, brilliant.
Tell you, the investment lounge is quite good, actually. It's running this morning.
Yes.
It's a really well-attended event where they talk about all things investments.
Yes, I'm not sure what today's topic is, but I know that it was bustling in there. So if you are thinking or talking about investments or just want to know a little bit more, why don't you come along to the Investment Lounge every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Last week was about share options. I'm not sure what this week's is about, but always good. And it's a big old community of people in there talking about investments and strategies and all sorts of stuff.
It's great. You just ask questions. People are actually doing things. We rock. We do rock, Sharon. You're absolutely right. You rock too. We've also got a LinkedIn user from Hampshire. Hi, Ed and Andrew.
Last week, apparently, it was Paul who's coming in a minute. Paul was a LinkedIn user. So sometimes it doesn't show the person's face, but I believe on other people's screens, it does show them. So
Well, if we're not knowing who you are, we apologise. We do, and we're very pleased to have you watching. Rachel says hi. Morning, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. Nice to see you. So what I'm going to do, Ed, it was Alan Edwards. I can check it in my LinkedIn feed. So Alan Edwards.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah. So Alan, he's a property guru. Good to see you, Alan. Good morning, Rachel as well. So fantastic. So what I think we should do, Ed, I'm going to play. I think we were discussing this before the show. Whether it's
this is really exciting. This is my first foray into this neck of the woods this year.
We've got something coming up on the 15th of December. And we'd like to play it for you. So let's see if I can find it without further ado. So here we go. Might be a bit too early, folks, but the 15th of December.
I think before people get fed up with this, that
absolutely, Ed.
And here we are. I love it. I want that played every day, probably on the hour. Just it's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And just quickly from Sharon, thanks Sharon for the reminder. It was about network marketing today in the Cobra Club in the Investment Lounge. So thank you for that, Sharon.
Yeah.
Okay, Ed. I think it's probably time to get our first guest in today. But before we do that, let's play her in with a little video, and then when we come back, she'll be in
Alan
the building.
says Santa will come early, by the way. I think he will, Alan, and I hope he does. I hope he comes twice.
Good morning, Sam.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, Ed. Lovely to see you this morning.
Yeah, really good to see you.
Welcome to the Gritty Business Show.
Ding dong.
Avon calling.
How are you?
Thank you, Andrew.
I'm sure everyone in the world knows that that little chime, that little ding dong, and I think it's a great sort of it's stood the test of time. And we're going to get on to something else that's stood the test of time in a little bit. But I wonder, Sam, initially, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about Sam's background, where you've been, what you've been up to, and how you got into what you're doing now.
I certainly can, Andrew. Thank you very much. Well, I'm Sam Marshall. I currently live on the west coast of Scotland in one of the most remote and rural places in the country, as designated by Argyll and Bute Council and agreed with by the UK government. I live in a town, and the last census there were 2,353 people in this town.
Brilliant.
So it's huge, obviously. Born and brought up in Buckinghamshire, came to Scotland via Devon. So there are many people in the Cobra Club that I actually know from my time down south, Louise Monblatt being notably one of them. And my company is called Train Smart Limited because from 1989, yes, I really am that old. I just have a wonderful skincare regime. I've been training people, started voluntarily in the Scout Association and went through commercially, and branched out on my own in 2011, delivering apprenticeships and commercial training. So I've been doing that for just over a decade now. And my business has morphed, as I'm sure everybody's business will morph at some point. And it was interesting hearing you talk about the investment lounge this morning and the subject being network marketing, because I've been a network marketer for 7 years with a different market. And whilst I absolutely adored this company and everything they stood for, it clearly wasn't the right product for me because I was running really fast to get nowhere.
Yeah.
So in October 2020, it was a Saturday afternoon, and it was grey and raining and dark. And another Cobra Club member, Jay Blake, actually phoned up and said, "Have I got an opportunity for you?" And I went, "This is the 5th time you've asked me." And he went, "Well, 5 times lucky then. Do you want to join me?" And I went, "Oh, for goodness sakes. Yes, okay." And I joined Avon on a special offer back in October last year. And my life has catapulted since. Because just like you said, Andrew, everyone knows Avon. Everyone's got an Avon story, a mum, a nan, an auntie, a friend. At some point, everyone has come into contact with Avon. And it's not seen as a network market for whatever reason. Did you know how many years we celebrated in September of this year? Have a guess how long we've been going.
I would say 50 years.
50 years. And Ed, you said 80. If you add the two together and add on 5, you get it. Avon celebrated 135 years in September 2021.
That's brilliant.
It's an interesting thing with brands. I mean, Avon is one of those. It's a trusted brand. It's one of those things that people trust. It's a Boots of the world, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yes. So it's one of those things. And I often find that companies seem to get bored of their own brand, even though other people don't. I think the best example of that is Post Office with Post Office counters, when they took the name the Post Office because they found it boring and changed it to Insignia, which who's ever heard of that? No. You know, and actually the Post Office, trusted, you can't go wrong. And Avon's, I mean, like you say, my grandmother, we had Avon products in the house from an early age, and it was never seen as some sort of, I don't know, some sort of bad way. And I think that's probably testament to the way that Avon looks after the people within the organisation, I would think. Is that the case? Are they good to you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are self-employed. So I am not an employee of Avon, and never would I put myself across as that. I am a network marketer, an independent sales leader. But Avon are good with their commission package, with their incentives. They're changing everything in January, and they've thought long and hard about that, and we're working towards the new way forward. And I'm really excited about what's going to be coming up. I never anticipated when I started in October last year that I would have a national team. I have a team of 30 other sales reps dotted all around the country. My furthest south is in Devon, and my furthest north is over on the east coast of Scotland. So I've got people up and down the country. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. Some of them I found through working through social media channels, through introductions of friends, but some of them are actually my family and friends.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I imagine most of the people are below you in the country, just thinking about where you said you are.
Yes. One is higher than me, but yeah, most of the people geographically are dispersed downwards. Actually, I've even got one rep on the Isle of Wight.
Brilliant. I suppose in this day and age, Sam, that with technology as the way it is, it's a lot easier than probably 20 years ago when the Zoom technology era.
Yeah, I think most people think of Avon as ding dong, Avon calling, and a beautiful lady fully coiffed with gorgeous makeup stood on the doorstep to hand over the brochure. I will never be the beautiful, gorgeous lady properly coiffed with gorgeous makeup. Bit of lippy, bit of mascara. That's normally about as far as I go, if truth be told. That said, I give my hair to the Miracle Densifier shampoo and conditioner because it really does work. However,
the Miracle Densifier, what did you call it? It's very
Miracle Densifier is what it's called, and it absolutely does what it says on the bottle.
Brilliant.
But we do still have that option if you wish to take brochures out and go and meet people and ring doorbells. Absolutely, that model still exists. But Avon has come into the 21st century. So as a rep now, as part of the joining package, you get a link to a shop and to an online brochure that Avon actually maintain for you. So you don't have to be a wizard at all. You just have to give out your link.
That's good.
But there are other routes to market. So some of us sell through Amazon, some of us sell through eBay, on social media, through Facebook Marketplace. I've got a gazebo and a table and a warehouse of stock, and I go out on a Saturday, roll up, see my wares.
Look at my hair.
Absolutely. And it's like I've got the Avon sweatshirt and I've got the Avon gloves and I've got the Avon water bottle. There's a lot of peripheral to become a product of the product. And I've even, for Christmas, I have a singing reindeer who sings jingle bells. And as people approach the store, my husband jumps up and presses the hand and it goes, jingle bells, jingle bells. Yeah, I don't think many people do, but my husband does.
Sam, for some people, getting involved in network marketing is their first foray into running their own business. I mean, for a lot of people, it's their first. They sort of want to do something, and they look at it as an entry, if you like, into running their own business. Don't answer this, but what sort of tips would you give if someone's actually wants to earn more money and wants to do something? What would be your top tips for them to get ready before? Bear with me. Before they actually start.
What a great intro. For me, it's about reading and learning and personal development. Behind me in my cabinet, I've got a box of personal development books that I've read. I started with Richard Branson's Like a Virgin. I worked through Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Cash Flow Quadrant. I've read books like Robin Webster's Polar Bear Pirates, which actually helps you to understand how to maneuver around those people that negatively block your path.
Yep.
I think it's about research. I think it's also about going and looking at the company that you want to join and finding out from other people who are already in that network market, how they're doing. And also just to understand a little bit more about how the commission structures work and what is incumbent upon you month on month. Before I joined Avon, my understanding was that I could only brochure drop and I had to spend £70 every 3 weeks to remain in Avon. That's not correct at all. That's absolutely not how it works. But that was my prior understanding. Can I talk about what happens once you're inside the company?
Yeah.
Every company, every network market out there will have internal training. They will have internal conferences and they will have opportunities for you. I say get involved in those, get into that, learn from the people that are further along the path than you. Some tips they'll give you won't resonate with you at all. Others will absolutely have you buzzing. So my husband's in a network market. I was in a different one. Every January, all of the network markets have their kick-off events or their startup events. Now, they used to be face-to-face. A lot of them are now done by Zoom. I would encourage you all to go to that. Listen to what your company has scheduled for the coming year. Listen to people that have done it and think about whether you can emulate their success. You don't have to reinvent the wheel in network marketing, but you do have to find the way forward for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things about network marketing is that people get into it and don't really understand what they're getting into and haven't done the research first. Therefore, it doesn't work. Well, it's not going to work if you haven't done any research or put any work into it. So it's a bit of a catch-22. But and people, you know, people, I know people who are earning six-figure incomes comfortably, enjoying every second of it, not stressed. They haven't mortgaged their house to do it, and they're just having a great time. And because they've sort of understood and they followed often what their mentor says. So I think probably in a lot of these places, you get teamed up with people, don't you, where they can help you to do the best that you want to do. You may not want a six-figure income. You may just want to earn £100 a month. Brilliant. It doesn't matter. But there are people who can help you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve for yourself. Is that right?
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Now, I told you that my background is training. And you can see my banner in the background. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but it says coach, mentor, and trainer, because that's who I am. I've done this for 30 years.
Yeah.
So anybody that joins my team gets the benefit of all of that. Weekly team calls. I'm there for them at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night on WhatsApp if they've got a problem. I'm there for them at 6:05 on the last day of the campaign. Our campaigns always close at 6 p.m. on the last day. I always get a call at 6:05. Sam, I haven't got my order through. What do I do now? And so we have 2 and 3 hours of pulling our hair out. Avon also do hair dyes, which covers the grade.
It's where you think shampoo, isn't it? Because
yes. We think of Avon, and until quite recently, the boxes that used to come out from Avon said the business for women, powered by women.
Okay.
Out of the top 10 UK sellers, how many do you think are men?
Half, 5.
Andrew?
3.
Okay. Well done, Ed. You're actually spot on. Out of the top 10, 5 are men. The number 1 UK seller is quite happy to let everybody know that in the last reported year, so 2020, he turned over £650,000.
Very good.
Now, that's all a matter of public record. That's why I'm allowed to say that. You know, I think as well as I do, that in network markets, we're not allowed to guarantee any sales. We're not allowed to guarantee any commission because we're regulated by the Direct Sales Association. But he is one man. He's at the top of the tree. I am so fortunate that I report into number 2 in the UK. And that's Amanda Hill. I believe you had her on 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So she, I'm really excited to tell you all that on Sunday I fly down to spend a week with Amanda because we're on a top secret project that will reveal itself on Thursday, and I'm almost bursting with joy. So yes, not only did I buy a new car, I had to sort out this trip, and it's amazing.
How really exciting! That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do. We're going to come back to in a minute about sort of how you get involved and finding out what's like to work with Sam. But first of all, we like to find out a little bit about our guests and a bit about what they do in their spare time and a bit about their sort of something a bit more sort of what's the word, talented, should I say? So I was wondering, Sam. I'm going to play this little VT and I'm going to give you sort of 30 seconds to think about it. But if you come back to us on this.
So what is my secret talent? There are several things that I do outside of Avon. Someone said to me last week, do you actually stop working ever? And the answer is pretty much no. What I'm most proud of is the fact that I am a voluntary company secretary for a local hydroelectricity plant up here in Argyll.
Wow.
Now, the project was well underway by the time I arrived in 2017, although my friend had been involved in it for a couple of years prior, so I knew a lot about it. As a very small group, we have built a £1.5 million hydroelectricity generating plant and turbine running off of a run-of-river system of River Avik. And this is one of the greenest forms of electricity that you can use because the river flows.
Yes.
It's based in the middle of the forest, about 15 miles from where I am now, and it is to service 4 very small communities. And when I say 4 very small communities, added together, there are 120 houses in those communities.
Oh.
The project is a 20-year project, and it aims to put £2.1 million back into community hands for non-infrastructure products. So if someone wanted to start a microbrewery, if they wanted to start keeping more sheep, that sort of thing, that's what the money is there for.
Wow.
When COVID hit, we weren't anticipating giving any benefit to the community prior to 2024. Because we owe a company called Social Investment Scotland £1.5 million. So we have to pay them first, really. But there are ways that we can sort out with community benefit. So as I say, we were expecting that to go out in 2024. In 2020, as a direct response to the COVID pandemic, for those 120 houses that are even more remote and rural than I am, because it's 15 miles and it takes me 45 minutes to get there up a forestry track.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them £7,000 to help that community with immediate requirements after lockdown. We will have more money going to them annually, so I spend some of my free time actually looking at the direction of that company, talking to shareholders, making decisions. And I was absolutely delighted earlier when you introduced Vicky Bodis as a new member of the Cobra Club, because I'm introducing her to the company as a conversation regarding accountancy. And the reason I'm here is because your very own Alan Cadden of Cavita Consulting worked with us on the Awesome Energy project a couple of years ago to sort out our capital returns to HMRC, and he saved us somewhere around, I think it's £250,000 to £300,000.
He's an impressive guy.
Absolutely fantastic. So that's how I came to be in the Cobra Club. I think passion and enthusiasm is probably one of my hidden talents. And the other thing I do, but don't tell anybody, I crochet and do yoga.
Crochet at the same time.
Brilliant.
Oh, I've not tried that. That might be an option. But you see, I don't need people to know that I do things where I'm not working. Do you know what I mean?
Working.
Brilliant. So, Sam, really revealing and highly commended. And yeah, no, you did a fantastic job up there. And, you know, Avon, the hydro, what do you call it?
Hydroelectricity generating plant.
That's it. Yeah. So, but let's say, how would someone get hold of you, and what's the methods? Let's say I'm interested in a little side hustle and I want to do this alongside my business. Would that be okay?
Yeah. Well, my telephone number is a matter of public record. My telephone number is going along the bottom of the screen right now. It's plastered on the poster behind me. It's plastered all over the Cobra Club. It's plastered all over the internet. So if you want to phone me, WhatsApp me or text me, the number's on your screen now. There's an email going along. Actually, that email's wrong. It's sam@avonleader.co.uk. That's it. The web. Yeah, that's fine.
The wrong way, but
yeah. So you can get me by email. And yeah, basically I do most of the stuff on my mobile phone, and I still think pick up the phone and say, hi, Sam.
I say the same.
Yeah, that's why we have phones. So just give me a buzz. If you really want to just look at more about the Avon side and see what it's all about, then sammarshallrecommends.com/join my team is a great way to get a hold of me. But I still think just by WhatsApp or phone is best. And Andrew, before I go, can I just share one thing with you? We talk about advancements and we talk about everything changing. There's one thing in Avon that stayed the same since the beginning. How many of you watching remember this bottle? This shaped bottle? And in the beginning, it would have been a soft pink type colour, and I think it would have been quite florally. This is a Christmas special. This is mulled spice in honour of. But this bottle shape has not changed since Avon came to the UK in 60
I remember
years.
that being my grandson. That.
Yeah. And when I go on a market stall, people go, "Oh, I remember that," and it starts a conversation.
Stands the test of time. Thank you ever so much, Sam. It's been great to get to know you today and find out a bit more about you. And I'd recommend anyone get in touch with Sam Marshall, interested in network marketing or buying the wonderful product that is the Avon product. So thank you ever so much, Sam, and we'll see you soon.
You will do. Thanks a lot, boys. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye. Brilliant. That was good, wasn't it,
Ed? Better than good. That was fantastic. What an inspirational person.
Really good. Thanks, Sam. Great to see you in the club and great to see you on the Gritty Business Show. What I'm going to do, Ed, is quickly...
I was just going to ask you a quick question, if I may.
Oh, go on. Go on then, Ed.
Well, what I'd like to know is... Who is this week's Club Hero? And by the way, for those people who don't know, Ted is a dog, but Ted's cool.
So this week's hero is numero uno himself, Mr. Steve Bates. Ed and I met Steve recently down at the Southwest Expo, which is the first time that Ed's ever met Steve in real life. We've never seen him before.
Yeah.
But procurement professional with Auditel. Recommend Steve to anyone out there who wants to save some money within their sort of larger organization, and he's a true trooper, and he is my hero of the week. So thanks, Steve.
Cool.
Just want to shout out a couple of things, Ed. I want to shout out Jerry Walsingham's estate planning advice session in the club, and it is every Tuesday at 10:30 to 12. If you want to find out any sort of information, it's not there to sell, it's just about there to inform about lasting powers of attorney, trust, probate, funeral plans, then do pop along. He can answer any of your questions about it. So that's Mr. Jerry Walsingham. We've spoken about David Lockett, and quickly today coming up at 12 o'clock, it's a speed networking event inside the Cobra Club with Kath Kirkland. So big shout out to Kath. And so I'm going to quickly ask you a question, Ed.
What's that, Ed?
So, you know, we all like wisdom, don't we? And wise words. And so I was sort of thinking, Ed, what are the wise words for this week?
Well, this week I'm going to grasp from. It's interesting when you speak to people like Sam. Okay, and we meet hundreds of people who say they're going to be doing something. Yeah, so they're thinking of starting a business, or they're thinking of doing something else. They're thinking of it, and everybody actually in their heart of hearts wants to be doing something, but they don't. And the trick actually to succeed is just to do it. So I'm going to who says the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. If you begin doing, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Okay, so what have you lost? Absolutely nothing. But what have you gained? The experience of that. So that can help to focus you on what you actually want to do and don't want to do. So it's not about having, it is confidence, but it's not about being, you haven't got to stand on a market stand, with a plastic Santa pressing the button and shouting everybody down the street. That's not about starting a business. Starting a business is having a plan, sitting down and actually committing to doing it, having a start date and getting on with it. If you start, then something can happen. If you don't start, nothing will happen. I know it's a totalism they call that, which is a statement that is you can't argue with, but it's factually correct. So for all those people out there who want to get started, come and speak to you, come and speak to me, come and speak to people like Sam or people like Paul who you're about to meet. Just get some inspiration to get going. What's the worst that can happen, and what's the best that can happen?
Change your life.
Change your life. Turn yourselves around.
Yeah, the worst thing that happens is nothing happens, but at least you gave it a go.
Absolutely, and you've learned from that experience. Whereas if you do nothing,
absolutely.
Nothing will happen. There's a definite there. Fantastic. So
Brilliant.
Walt Disney would agree.
Thanks, Ed.
So many great things. Starting.
Thank you so much for those wise words for today. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to play this VT, and when we come back in the room, Mr. Paul Fegan will be in the house. So
automatic.
Hello, Paul.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the Gritty Business Show. It's great to have you on board here.
Thank you. Nice to be here in sunny Hertfordshire.
Fantastic. So I know a little bit about you, Paul, and you're going to tell us in a minute, but you seem like a bit of a technology, telecoms guru. So I wonder if you could sort of relay to us in a couple of minutes, really, a bit about your background, where you've been over the years, and sort of what you're up to now, what leading to your current sort of position at Freetimers.
Okay, well, I started my working life in BT. I did an apprenticeship. I was halfway through my A-levels, and I went for my careers advisor invited me to go and visit a technology company because they knew I liked playing with bits. And I went down to this company, had a look around, and they sent me a test. And I thought, that's not very nice. I've come to have a look around. And then they said, okay, you've passed the test. Where's your application form? And I said, but I only come to have a look. They said, well, you've got the job. Do you want to apply for it? So, and that was the start of my BT career.
Wow.
I learned telecoms from below the ground upwards, manholes, up poles, in the exchanges, play with lots of wires and noisy things. Led me on to work for a computer company, GC Computers. And then I ended up at MFI, the furniture group. And according to friends and relatives, I was personally responsible for every missing screw when you bought a piece of furniture.
Of course.
You did. I bet you did it as well. I bet you opened each packet, took one out. Just put it back in.
Just checked each one.
Send it out.
I was actually responsible for every phone in the company, all the data lines, all the point of sale material, and all the mobile phones.
I remember my father putting together some MFI stuff with a mallet because he couldn't work it out.
Well, we were the first putting together flatback furniture, and it was amazing watching people in the car park seeing how many boxes they could pile on top of their roofs of their cars to take things away. So
definitely.
But in that time, I travelled the country because I went to every store opening and made sure that everything worked. Especially on the Boxing Day sales, I was there early hours, making sure everything worked. And had a great time. Learned an awful lot about communications, but I was not just the UK. I was also responsible for a network in France, which is great because I was really good because I can't speak French.
They didn't call it MFI in France, did they? They called it MFI.
No, it was Guiana Cuisines actually, but it took me all over France and into the States. So
Brilliant.
So
we
what went
lost skills
wrong for
everywhere.
MFI? What? Because MFI were a massive company. What turned the tide for them? I mean, was it IKEA and people like that, or just?
I left the company.
Yeah,
And it went downhill after that.
They were huge one stage.
Yep, they had a change of direction. The manufacturing was hived off, and then it was just left with the showrooms, and the showrooms couldn't compete in terms of money. But so I had 20 years at MFI, growing up and doing all kinds of things, all kind of technology. I built a lot of the boxes that controlled the network in my bedroom. So soldering into the early hours of the morning. It was an interesting time. Way before microprocessors and structured cabling, the computer center I built in Colindale, the utility warehouse people would know as the Hyde. That was the head office, and I designed and built the infrastructure. But before Cat5 cabling, I had to put together wiring schemes. I used 5-pin hi-fi plugs.
Okay.
And the matrix, about 13 miles of wire. So
Wow.
I could map any terminal to any computer port.
It's amazing.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So at some point, you've obviously decided to have a change of direction, things we've done in our careers. So now you're at Free Timers. What's Free Timers about, and what's it all about, Paul?
So Free Timers is a web company. We design, build, manage websites, but we take people on a journey. So if you're new entrant to the business, to the world of business, and want a website, we'll work with you to extract your ideas and build your image of your business in web terms. We also our speciality is the second and third generation websites. So it's for those that have been around for a little while, particularly during lockdown, a lot of companies thought about extra things they wanted to do for their business and found that their website wouldn't allow them to get there. And that could have been anything from e-commerce to inventory management, all kinds of different things. And we've got the capability to do that. The company's been around 24 years, so it predates Google and predates some of the big packages around. We build it on our own platform, which is modular, and we can just turn on the elements that many people want.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing, building your first website, and then there's another thing then plugging in, let's say it's inventory management or e-com. That's when it sort of starts getting complicated at that point, and things can go wrong, isn't it, Paul?
It is. And some of the businesses we come across actually have a number of different strings to their bow. So they may have their second or third different business. Some of it, sometimes they'll look the same, sometimes they'll be very different. So we've actually created a management platform we call our hub to allow someone to have one interface into multiple businesses, so that they don't have to go into each management system for each website and manage the stock and manage the sales. So a central management system, central business information, and do all the stock movements and synchronization. And
is that your own CRM system that you built?
It's our own system. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So the guys in the business are very techno competent, and then they do lots of clever things on the web, and the web's evolving constantly, and Google, our friend and foe, is constantly changing the rules so that you can be in the best place on the digital high street one week and then disappear the back and beyond the next. So you've got to keep your website up to date and fit for purpose. And if you built a website or had a website 2 years ago, it may well be out of date and not fit for purpose anymore. So it needs to be updated.
Yeah, I think that's
amazing how companies have just got to keep up with it, and you guys especially, you've got to keep up with that front end tech that enables customers to be found on the web. I mean, it's a big responsibility.
So if you're a business and you're trading away, and you don't really look at your own your own website. I mean, a lot of people just it's there, but they don't think about it on a day-to-day basis. What would be the first thing? What would be the sort of top tips that you would give somebody right now to audit their own website, etc.?
Before I answer that, can I just take you? If you had a physical shop, you'd be polishing your windows, you'd be changing your window displays, you'd be moving your stock around, and making sure that you've got the balance up for the Christmas sale and so on.
Yeah.
A website is no different. It's your digital shop window. So you need to make sure there's fresh content, that you promote what you're doing, and to keep things moving. Fresh content is the key.
It's I suppose for a lot of firms, they might only have 5 employees, 5 or 10, and there's no one really in the firm that is technically sort of capable or can write sort of content. I mean, it's a big responsibility, that front shop part, out on the web. And I guess you guys, Paul, can write content and get all of those elements sorted for a client, can you?
What we want to do is make it easy for you. So we'll do all the technical stuff, and just make it easy for you just to pop up some pictures and pop up some content in an easy to understand way. So as long as the structure's there and the processes are there, we're there to support you in case you can't do it or you don't understand. As long as the design is there and the right kind of framework's there, our content management system allows you just to keep it updated. You can write your own blogs, you can write your own news, and pop it up, and it looks nice and it looks good, and it gets out to the world with very little effort from yourself. But it's your business. You need to tell people what you're doing. We just help.
So
have you had any?
Sorry, Andy.
So go on, Ed.
No. I was just going to say, can you take over someone's existing website and take over their IT infrastructure, or does it have to be a brand new system?
No. We a lot of the time we take over. We've got our own platform, our own platform, but we manage websites that are WordPress or WooCommerce, or we can take over anybody's, and sometimes it will need a little surgery, and sometimes it'll need major resuscitation. But basically, we want to make sure that it becomes easy to use and is fit for purpose. The object of a website is for people to find you as a business and probably buy from you. It's a business asset that often you would have spent lots of money on to get it there, and you want to make sure it works for you.
Yeah.
And have you got any sort of, I suppose, success stories of where someone was, where they had this website and now they're trading, sort of e-commerce? Have you?
Yeah, on our website, freetimers.com, we've got lots of examples of different companies. A couple of those that spring to mind: George Davies Turf, a company that sells grass, sells turf, sells soil, and they're doing lots of clever things on their website. But what they do in particular is monitor the performance of the website in great detail. The number of visitors, the number of people that dwell on the website, that come on and buy, and if they drop off, he wants to know why they drop off. So we've actually, we spend a lot of time not only in the website, but making sure things are in the right place on the website. If, for example, you read a page, to read a page quickly, you use your finger to follow the text. If you just look at the page, if you look at the page with your finger, you'll read about three to four times faster. And often when you're looking at a website, you'll move the mouse around. So by moving things to different parts of the page, you can see it have an impact on people's reading and clicking and so on. So we've done that on a number of our websites, just checking what people do. But by monitoring the figures, you can see moving something on one part of the website to another the dwell time, and so on. So it's important not just to be pretty, but to be functional.
Yeah, no,
and a number of our websites are built in that kind of ilk as well.
I sort of spec, yeah.
Now, Paul, we all have sort of colourful backgrounds, and I heard you a bit of a rebel rouser in your day. And I was just going to ask you a little question. I'm going to give you a little chance to think about it. Maybe it goes back to your childhood a bit, but have a think about this, okay?
So back in early days while I was studying, my parents created a den for me up in the loft, and I bought a lot of vinyl. So I had things like Dark Side of the Moon, Santana, and the like. I've still got the vinyls now. They're in the back of a cupboard somewhere, out of my wife's reach, because she'll think, they're just gathering dust. My aim is to get them out and play them again one day. But yeah, I love the likes of Pink Floyd. I used to play that over and over again.
Yeah, it's classic, isn't it? Dark Side of the Moon, fantastic. Yeah, brilliant, fantastic. And did you play a music instrument? Have you ever been sort of musical?
No. The closest I got was I became a mobile DJ back in the 70s. I started off doing the school dances, and then I had my own disco stuff, which I used to take around in my Maury 1000 van.
What was that Garen floor filler in the 70s?
Well, I used to do a lot of party times. We'd play the Zorba's dance and a couple of other things like that to get people going and joining in.
Yeah,
a lot of ABBA, probably.
Pardon?
A lot of ABBA?
It predates ABBA.
Right.
I was a closeted ABBA fan. I mean, only now it's become respectable to say I like ABBA, but I liked them when they first came out.
Yeah. It's got more popular as it's gone on, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant.
Played a bit of Alice Cooper and the like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Paul. I like all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. So let's go back to the business. So how does it work? How do we sort of engage with free timers, and how do we engage with you, Paul? If I was a company out there just starting out, or I've got a website that just doesn't do anything, we don't get any visitors, do you do a free consultation? How does one get hold of you?
Sure, just drop me a line at paul.fegan@freetimers.com, and we'll have a chat. What we want to do is just to make sure that we understand what you want and how we can take you on the journey. If we can't help you, then we won't engage. But the hardest thing is to try and take out of your mind and build that on a screen. So it's understanding what you want and take you on that journey, whether you're a new build or a business that wants to go to the next level. We've got a digital marketing team that does the SEO work. Those guys are really good at understanding your routes to market.
Yeah.
And every company's got a different route to market. So it's building a plan that works for you, that's cost effective for you. People say, how much is a website? It's like going into a car showroom and say, I want to buy a car, how much is it? You got to tease out what it is you want, what color, what size, what engine size, and so on. So there's lots of questions, and taking you along that design journey.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Well, I would definitely recommend everyone to, if you're thinking about your website, have a chat with Paul and your team. Sounds like, like I say, you've been around the block a few times in terms of being around before Google was even sort of out there on the web in terms of building sites. So yeah, it's all credit to you and free timers for standing the test of time, and it means something these days, isn't it? The company's still there after 30 odd years.
We're not a company that, a couple of people in their bedroom putting together. We've got pedigree and history. If you just look at our website and look at the types of websites that we've done. So we're not the cheapest around, but we're not the most expensive. But what we are can show us that we've been there and we will be there to support you as your business grows and changes. And our SEO stats show how much businesses have grown as a result of our working together with them.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Thanks, Paul.
Really important.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been great having you on the show. And everyone get in touch with Paul. So we'll see you again soon, Paul. All right, take care.
Cheers, Paul. Lovely to see you. That'll be Hannah Matarazzo, who does all of our videos.
That's all our content. So a big shout out to
Cocktail created it.
Yeah, thanks for doing all of the hard work with the Gritty Business Show. So, Ed, we're running out of time, so we're going to have to get straight into the weekly events.
Events?
Yeah, are you ready for this? So these are all the events happening in the Cobra Club this week and next week. So here we go. Let's hit the button. You go first, Ed.
I'm ready. I think you should start the week as you mean to go on. Come to Monday Motivation for the digital networking event of the week. Mondays, 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock with your host, me. Come and get involved.
Brilliant. Then next up, we have Christie's Virtual Coffee Club. That's every Monday at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Very relaxed, very informal. Come and get involved with Christy.
Oh, and then the lady herself, Cobra Creative with Hannah Matarazzo, every Monday, 4 till 5. Come and see how emotion can actually really increase your business.
Fantastic. Then next up, Mr. 00 Heaven, Mr. Zafran Khan, or 007. Monday Mayhem, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. up in the Midlands.
And then pop along Tuesday morning for a fresh with Quest West Business Networking. 11:30 every Tuesday.
Fantastic. Then next up, Tantalising Tuesdays with Yvonne Taylor, the Business Fairy Godmother, the missing piece of your jigsaw, every Tuesday at midday, I think it was.
And then Victoria Woods with Cobra Office, 1:30 to 2:30, is a fantastic networking every Tuesday, 1:30 to 2:30.
Thank you. Then next up, Katrina Ellis with Titan Troubleshooting, based on the Isle of Man, but operating around the UK, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Come and get involved.
Then the new one, Make It Happen Hub, which is a really good one to go to with Elaine Atherton every Wednesday, 9 till 10:30. Come along and join Elaine.
Thank you. Next up, Beverly Lockett, number one Amazon bestselling author with Hive Mastermind. Come and bring your business challenges every Wednesday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
And then the big one, the mother of all networking meetings, the one that started it all, Meetings with Andrew Hatcher, 7 till 9 o'clock every Wednesday. Come and get connected.
Next up, Cobra Connect every Thursday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Kicking off Thursday mornings in the Cobra Club.
And then you can follow that with Chris Mason at Cobra Strike every Thursday, 1 till 2. Join the 300 Club.
Brilliant. Friday mornings then, Louise Montblanc, first thing Friday, every Friday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Come and join Louise.
We've got fish and chips on the south coast, so pop up to see Shane for your full Welsh breakfast every Friday, 9:30 to 11 o'clock. Or line your tongue with your pen cloud cockles and out. Yep.
Then Mr. Alan Cadden, we heard him from Samantha Marshall a bit earlier. Alan Cadden and the Cobra Express every 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Everyone loves that. And then pop along for the finale that is Wind Down Friday, the Business Deco event with Sharon, the inspirational Sharon Ritchie, Cobra Saltire, 4 till 5:30. We will see you there.
But Ed, where is there?
Where there? Let me tell you all about there. It's called, and I wear it on my chest, sir. The Cobra Club. www.thecobraclub.co.uk. Pop along, get involved. If you want to find out more about it, you can book a virtual tour. So if you go along to www.thecobraclub.co.uk, the orange button, click it. You can book a virtual tour, and then either Andrew or myself will take you around the Cobra Club, show you all the ins and outs, how to use it and how to benefit from it. And then if you'd like to join, we might even make your first month easier for you to join. So come and find out a bit more, have a virtual tour with us. Yeah, www.thecobraclub.co.uk.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate that. Great show today. I want to thank our guests, Sam Marshall and Paul Fegan, once again. Fantastic to have them on the show today. So all that leaves us to do is say goodbye, and we'll see you next week. Next week we have Michael Keenan from the Threshold Housing and Mr. Ian Girling.
That's exciting.
From, is it Arbonne? I think it's
Arbonne.
Yes, I think it is. Yes. So anyway, guys, over and out. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surf in the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. Two souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you approach. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in a dream and throw away the keys. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align, plan this. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what
Now
we
you're
want to.
watching me, yeah, all